this is why I am where I am, where I'm able to implement and create change for the, betterment of everyone. My name is Alia Al Mur. I work currently for the Dubai Future Foundation as their Chief of Partnership and Transformation. Most importantly, I'm a mother of 2 boys, Mohammed and Thani.
We want to know more about the beginnings of Alia. How did it all start?
I realized that I am more of a PR and marketing individual. I had a bit of love for psychology, so I did a minor in psychology at university. And I think university, being active even throughout university, always reconfirmed that PR and marketing is something that I'm passionate about. Because you can create a lot of different impact through that particular major. And job after job, so good thing I've stayed for quite some time within the places I've worked at. So within Imar, I was there for 7 years, and then Smart Dubai 5 years, and then now Dubai Future Foundation, I've been there for 2.5. So all of these basically changes in career, let's say, have really reconfirmed to me that I am on the right path. I want to make sure that people change the perception of technology within individuals and, how people perceive technology. It's here, it's the means to an end. It's not the thing that's going to come to our lives and just change it completely. It's there to make our lives easier, seamless. Interacting with government is going to change. There are so many positives. I've been in the field for quite some time to understand that technology is really here for the betterment of humanity, not the other way around.
Growing up, there are so many amazing women who influence us. Tell us about an influential female figure in your life.
My mother has taught me how to mother. She used to work at Donata. She was one of the first team who were at Donata. And then as she got married and she had kids, she thought that it's better for her to sit at home and be a stay-at-home mom. And for me, I always saw the potential in my mother. And I was like, if only she continued, and she did not put that. And for me, that made me realize that you can have a great family and, bring your children, raise your kids, but at the same time have a career with the right ecosystem. Women back in the day, they sort of had to make a choice, but I'm blessed to have a proper ecosystem where I'm living to make sure that trying as much as I can to become a hands-on mother, just like my mom, but at the same time, create a good impact through the work that I'm doing.
How is your relationship with your grandparents?
Our mothers are my mom and my aunts, every day we'll meet up at my grandma's house. It was the place, after school, you do your homework, you go to your grandmother. And both my grandparents were alive at that time. And me and my cousins and all my aunts, it takes a village to raise children, they say. And literally, we were raised by all of my aunts and uncles. But my grandpa used to teach us how to make the best Nescafe coffee and the best breakfast. But he's the first one who actually got us to the kitchen and showed us how he cooks his food, because it was the most delicious food we've ever had, and we were always intrigued to know. And he cooked it all by himself, all 3 meals. So it's quite interesting to see, no matter what, he's still doing his own thing.
Walk us through your educational journey from school to university.
Oh my God, going back to school. I still have good relationship with a number of my teachers. I have them on Instagram. We talk every once in a while. Some of them are extended family members. So the thing is, I always, for grade 10, 11, and 12, I was always the third on class. But I was one of those who were chit-chat a lot. But at the same time, if the teacher asks me a question, I'll be able to answer. So they couldn't say much. They tell my mom she engages in a lot of conversations in class. She's quite active. But academically, she's really good. I had similar personality even when I moved to university. And I remember I had the privilege, because I went to Zayed University for undergrad and master's degree. And I remember seeing one from the faculty, they came to Dubai Mall to do some sort of an event at the Dubai Mall. And when she saw me, she's like, Alia, you've changed. She's like, you're much more calmer. You're much more you're mature. She's like, you have the same personality, but you look different. I said, I've been working for 5 years. Maybe that, maturity has kicked in. She's like, you're still you, but you're calmer. And even that, the calmness, being, working more of a, the inner calmness just comes in, as we grow and we're teenagers and we evolve in life. I think that happened also for me. The personality was still there. But I remember Dr. Ashwin Bishra telling me after I gave birth to my son, obviously my priorities have completely shifted. And she said, Alia, I see you at Zen after giving birth. And I said that I think that's what, thanks to Muhammad, my son, I think this is, when priorities shift, this is what happens. For me, being in a place where, leadership were actually very supportive, because within the management team, not a lot of UAE nationals were there. So for me, I felt like I had to take it upon my shoulder to make sure that I always give the great representation, whether to management or my peers, of how an Emirati works. But at the same time, making sure that we actually benefit all stakeholders of the community. Because I'm a true believer, if you're in a place, you really need to make sure that you have a responsibility towards yourself, towards your kids, towards your country, towards your work, and the community that you're a part of.
In the UAE, there is a big focus on female and youth empowerment and community engagement. How do you, as Alia, approach that?
I've been privileged that I don't want to say I've worked hard to reach where I am. But also, I wouldn't have reached where I am if I did not have the right support system. And so it's sort of, I want to make sure that whoever is in, similar position is giving back to the community, and starting from the younger generation, because for future to come, they're going to be our future ministers and future leaders and future director generals. And you need to invest in them from the very beginning, because you want to make sure that, you embed these values from the get-go. Because ultimately this will impact, whoever is in a top position will impact how my kids are going to live in the city and in the country. I feel investing in the youth is important, and also the good that I'm doing will go back towards my children as well. I'm a civil servant, and I love being a civil servant. But there are so many different visions and plans that we have, and I'm sure we're going to carry them forward. I just want to make sure that culturally we don't step away from the essence of what the UAE is and how we are, and I'm sure we will not. But I think every individual within the government needs to make sure that they continue upon instilling these values within their organizations and their families. But also the importance of bringing in the private sector on board. And that's something that we're heading partnerships as well. Always looked at the importance of PPP, which is, private-public partnership. And it's important because we also believe that whatever we want to achieve has to be a collaborative effort. Whether, you're an individual who leads a team, you can't shine unless, you help them out, and it's all a collaborative effort. Also, whatever we want to achieve for the city or the country as well, all of it has to be a collaborative effort. And we're not, the government entities are not here by themselves. We have the private sector that we really need to have on board, and we're doing that. And I think going to the future, more and more of that is going to happen. And I think the UAE will continue to become an example, because I think everything we're doing here, we inspire the rest of the world and we impact the rest of the world. And there are so many things and examples in terms of what we have achieved that have inspired other countries around the world. So I think if anything, the UAE will have more and more and more to show in the future.